Okay guys, welcome to our special edition Isle of Wight SlamFish special. So today in this review show we're going to go through a few different rods and a couple of reels and a couple of bits and pieces. So we're down trying to get out the wind. Now it gives northerly winds and unfortunately we've come to where we've come to get out of the wind near enough all the way around the Isle of Wight. You can get out the wind on, no matter if the wind's coming from one side, you go to the opposite side to get out the wind. But we've come down here and it's slightly more westerly in it, so we have got the wind coming against us really, side on. But we're in it to win it. So Nobby asked me, he said, I've got a few rods that I want you to cast and give your overall review on. So I'm going to go through some different rods now and some different reels, and yeah, I hope you enjoy this review show special. Okay, the rods. So we got 5 rods here today and we've got something a little bit special. I'm going to swap this over at the back and we'll go through that a little bit later on. So to start it off, we have 2 rods from the Akios range and we have 2 rods from the Zulcron range, and we've got a mystery guest, okay? And I'm very much looking forward to casting that rod, all right? So I'm going to start it off with the Akios Creed. Okay, the Akios Creed GP 420 is the new Akios rod. Very light offhand. I'm not sure what type of rod it is, but I'm going to have a word with Nobby in a minute and we can go through it. It's a beach caster. It seems very user friendly, if I'm honest. It's bendable, but I feel it's, for the size diameter of it's sort of something you could reuse over mixed to rough ground really. It's hard to say without casting, but it's 13'10", so it's an ideal length. Casting weight 4 to 8 ounces, 122 to 224 grams. Rod weighing at 865 grams. 2-piece rod, and it's got Fuji eyes. And what I'm about to do is put a reel on it for the first part of our review. So we've got that one to run through and then we'll move on through to the other rods. But reel wise, what shall I start with this today? I feel we can put on the Akios Nitron, okay? The F15. The F15? F15, isn't it? F15, isn't it? Yeah. XP, yeah. F15 XP. So we're going to put a shock leader straight onto this now, and then we'll get a few casts out and we'll go through the review. Okay guys, all set up now. So we got the Akios Nitron matched up with the Creed, okay? Akios Creed. 20 pound mainline, 80 pound shock leader, and we've gone straight away for the big boy 7-ounce lead. So what I'm going to do now is head down. I'm not going to hit the first one because I've got the brakes on, so I'm going to take the brakes off slightly just to get a feel for the reel, and then what we'll do then is we'll see if we can get a few big ones out there to see what the rod's like. But first impressions, it seems very user friendly. It's quite light, which I like about it, and yeah, it's got a nice tip on it. Yeah, it has got a nice tip on it. The butt isn't stiff, and yeah, I think off first impressions it would be very user friendly. So let's see if we can get one out then. So first off, I'll give it 5 turns, okay? Now I'm not going to go smashing it. Right, let's see how it goes. I caught that slightly, just for the descent on the bank as I was coming round, but I got away with it. Very smooth, reel wise very smooth. Rod, to be fair, because I caught the banks with the lead, I didn't get to feel it properly, but bringing this lead in here now, it's got a bit of flex in the butt section, but the tip, it's got a nice tip on it. It would suit mixed to rough ground fishing, I think. It was a 7-ounce lead as well. The reel is super smooth. The line's laying on lovely. Yeah, very nice. I do like the reel. Okay, so I'm going to go on the flatter part of the beach now and see if we can really get one out there. Let's have a go then. So gonna have a go on the flatter bit now, just see if we can get one out there. Give the reel 2 more clicks. Lovely. Do you know what? I'm not putting loads and loads of power through that because I wanted to get to feel of the rod first. It's just a basic pendulum cast. I love the reel. I ain't gonna lie, the reel is absolutely lovely. Very, very smooth. Now, as I said before, with the originals, we've done a tackle test on these, and unfortunately, without me knowing, I was given a prototype of the original Nitron reel, and obviously within testing, they found there was an issue with the spool, with the line going inside the spool. But when it was originally produced, they had already picked that up. But unfortunately, I was given the prototype to do a test with, which was an unfair test, if I'm honest, against the casting special. Now, I've had the casting specials a little while now, and I would like to do a tackle test again. Maybe something to have a chat with Akios to see if we could do something, because I'd like to put this reel against the casting special and do the same thing once again. Because out of the knowledge and background I had, because I've owned the casting specials, I can feel that I could give a lot better review on it, and a fairer review on it. And I mean, the viewings we had on it, I think between both parts, there was nearly 100,000 views. So it's something what a lot of people would like to see. So maybe it's worth having a chat. But to be honest, I'm going to do an overhead thump in a minute. I'll turn the reel down, but I'm not sure what these rods retail at. How much are these rods, Knob? 450 quid. So it's a top end rod really for that price then, isn't it?
What they sell it as, it's not a casting rod.
No.
It's a rod for casting a big bait and catching a big bait.
So basically, it's not a casting rod, as I've been told. It's a rockfish rod. It'll able to cast big baits at ease. I mean, it's very user friendly. I've seen a lot of the stiff, like out and out rough ground rods will be very stiff in the butt section, but the trouble is with that, if you've got a very stiff butt section, you need the casting skills to be able to bend it. You need to be able to cast properly to bend it. With this here, a simple overhead thump, and very easy to bend, but it's got a lot of power in it, and at the end of the day, if it's casting 8 ounce, it's got to be doing it. But I can see why. It's got a lovely tip on. I can just pick the tip up on it off it now. I don't know if you can pick that up properly. I'll bring it down like that now. I mean, that's me pulling quite a bit, and it's only going 5 eyes down. I like this. I like the spacings as well. It's yeah. To be fair, it's not a bad rod. Right. Let's see if we can get one out there properly now. So I'm going to take the mags off completely, and let's see if we can get into one. Got a bit greedy then. I really like that reel. I really like that reel. It's so smooth. I like the handle. I got into that. I'm going to do one more cast with this rod. To be fair, guys, if you've just started fishing, or you've been fishing a little while now, and you're looking for a rod which is very user friendly to target fish off the rocks and put big baits and stuff like that, I don't think you can go wrong with it. It is very user friendly, and to be honest, you can normally tell when you're pendulum casting, especially there, because I didn't hold back on that cast then, whether the rod's going to handle it, and that handled it no problem at all. 7-ounce leads as well, so it's been chucked straight in the deep end with it, flying. The thing to look at, if you're hitting 7 ounces with a mackerel bait on, especially targeting taupo, spurs and stuff like that, you need a job being able to do it. But at the same time, for a lot of anglers, they're looking for something user friendly, and to be fair, that's what you get with that rod. Me personally, I would like something stiffer in the butt section, but at the end of the day, for 80% of anglers, they're not after that out and out broomstick. A lot of people, obviously, they're looking for a user friendly rod, and that is definitely what you get with this Creed. I do like these Akios reels. Man, it's so smooth. That flew then, that I'd probably like that spool's like literally spool to the brim, the shock leader. You can't get much raw around that spool. And yeah, what I'm gonna do is have another cast, one last cast, and yeah, we'll end the verdict. But very impressed with this reel. Rod wise at the moment, as I just said, guys, it's very user friendly, and yeah, let's have a go. I will finish it off, one more pendulum, and I'll do an overhead thump then, and turn the reel down to have an overhead thump, and I'll give my overall review. I'll tell you what, I put a step into that as well. I love that reel, I really do. To be honest, the rod is a nice rod. It is it's handling that cast. You can feel power in it. Like bringing this in now, it's not really bending the midsection, but I can see, if I get knobby to hold the lead in a minute, just to get into that midsection a little bit, I get more judge of it then. Very impressed with that reel. Very impressed with that reel. I will try and sort out, guys, round 2 of the Penn casting special versus the Akios Nitron, and see how we can see what verdict comes up now. It's very smooth. I'm going to turn the reel down slightly now, right, and I'm just going to do an overhead thump just to see, because I feel it's very user friendly. That flew. That was a nice cast, that. Nice rod. £450. It sort of puts it up the top end of them, like mid-range rods, and to be honest, for the money, you got a lot of rod there. Right, let's have a thing. I'm going to turn this down slightly now. No problem. No. Yeah, nice. Nice. If I've got a rod there where I'm full pendulum casting, it's handling it like that, it's got to be alright, isn't it? No, can you do us a favour? Can you hold this lead here a minute? So I'm going to get Nobby to hold the lead a minute, just so I can see and get a feel of the midsection of the bud. As I said, it's hard to obviously, this is only the casting review of the rod really, without fishing and showing the fishing ability on it. It's that flew straight away again. Then love that reel, mate.
It's a new machine, that new XP, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
Right, you have hold on to that. Yeah. So do that again. Proper J curve. Rod bends from the Creed here slightly in that top end of the butt section. Loads and loads of power, and I mean loads of power. And I would quite comfortably fish with that for most of my fishing. You know what I mean? It's a very user-friendly rod. Me personally, I like something a bit more stiffer in the butt section. That's only because of the rods I'm used to fishing with. But for 90% of anglers out there looking for an easy user-friendly rod with loads of power, being able to cast big baits, big tides, big leads, fantastic rod for the money. That's the Akios Creed and the Nitron F15. So we're going to move on now, and we're going to go through the Akios AirPower Surf 420 GTR. First impressions of this, very nice build. It's got a very soft tip on it. I'm taking it, is that a glass tip? Yeah, it's got a glass tip on it, and it is 14 foot in length with an optimum casting weight of 100 grams to 220 grams, which is 3.5 to 7.5 ounces. So you could literally use that for most things, for bass fishing, all of it really. It's a nice all-rounder. It's quite stiff off just holding it in the butt section. It's quite light, and it's got a lovely tip on it with a glass tip. So I'm gonna have a cast of this now. I'm not sure what to load this up with. I'm thinking, are these all got braid on them?
Yeah, the 15s have got the 83-pound braid with the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
12s are loaded with 53-pound blade, 0.32.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, for this review, the Penn Fathom SDs, 12s, that's a 12 SD there, yeah? So I'm going to load them up. So this is this is basically the new version of the original Penn Fathom 12s. Big fan of the Penn Fathom 12s, and I've got to be honest, I've not cast these before, so this is the first time casting these. So what I'm going to try and do is get this all set up, get the lead on it, and we'll get back to casting. Okay guys, so we're all set up. Akios AirPower Surf 420 GTR glass tip rod. We've got that loaded up with a Penn Fathom 2 12 SD. Loaded up with 53-pound braid, and it's the same diameter as a 12-pound mono. So this is a first for me casting this line today. I did cast the other one yesterday, but not this reel. So yeah, looking forward to it. To be fair, I've always been a big fan of the Fathoms. It's going to be a hard one for me to give an honest review on this because of me favoritism the original Penn Fathom over the Mark II, just because the mono mag. But I'll go through that in a minute. But I'm going to have a cast with this now. I've gone straight for the big boy 7-ounce lead. I'm going to slow the first cast down, and the reason being it's a glass tip rod. I want to get a feel of the rod before I actually properly hit it. I'll put the brakes on halfway, and yeah, see if we can get one out then. One thing I know, I think I've just fell in love with braid. Nobby did say to me on the phone, and he said, Webby, I'm going to show you something. I said, what? He said, I've been playing around with braid and multiplier. And I went, no way. He said, hang on, hang on, hang on. He said, I've been trying it with loads of different braids, and he managed to find the Berkeley Sick. That there just flew out, and the strength in it is unreal. So, yeah, I think I'm more impressed with the braid than I am the gear at the minute. But first cast, slowed into it. The rod handled it nice. It's reeling in now. It's quite tippy, and loads of power though. And I mean loads of power. It's going for about 1, 2, 3, about 5 eyes. But you can see the tip bite detection would be fantastic. If you're looking for somewhere like surf beaches and stuff like that, and you're looking for something a bit stiffer, because the butt section on it is very stiff. I would say the butt section on it is stiffer than the Creed, if I'm honest. You can see it's been very well made. What do these retail at, Knobs? Exactly the same. It's a mid-range high-price rod at £4, 450 quid, and it's a nice bit of kit. It is a nice bit of kit. Braid's nice. It is lovely. Do you know what? I never ever thought I'd say that. Laying on lovely. And do you know what? Because of the no memory in it, as it went to stop, it sort of like stopped itself, if you know what I mean. If that had been mono, it'd have been a bit more. It sort of like stopped and then come up slightly. But very, very nice. Right, I'm going to hit one now with this, okay? It didn't lift at all, so on half. Normally on the mono mag, I know I can get away with it running very fast. With this, and that's the only thing I'll say about these reel guys. So I had a Penn rep speak to me down in Plymouth one day, and he asked me whether I could get hold of my original Penn Fathom for him with what was magged. And we sat down and discussed it and got both reels there and that. And I said basically what they did, because they were going to invent the next reel, which are these ones here, and do a mag system with it. But all they've done is basically put the 525 mags onto them, which they didn't have to do. All they had to do is put a mono mag, exactly the same as that Nitron. The bonus with a mono mag is you've got total control. So for me personally, as you advance through your angling skills and stuff, when it comes to reels, you want to be able to fine tune it. And I don't like nothing stopping that lead. You know what I mean? If that reel's holding that lead back, at some venues, not all venues, that's restricting me getting out to that tide line to catch a fish. Now, that is what's going to hold me back on giving a really, really 10 out of 10 review on the reel. I mean, it casts very smooth. It's got a nice power handle. It looks nice, but for me personally, they knew what they had to do. Just put a mono mag on. It's job done. Out of those two now, I prefer the Nitron out of casting both reels. I'm not going to do a full review on it yet, because I want to do something later on and put that with the casting special, because I do prefer the casting special over these. So we won't go into that now, but for the money, you can't get the original Penn Fathoms anymore, and they're a very nice reel out the box, will get you fishing. But as for the rod, I'm going to give it another cast now, but for that sort of money, it's I mean, that sort of money, you're going to look after it as well. And I can see a lot of guys going for these rods if they're fishing like surf beaches and stuff for bass. I mean, it's got loads of power in it. So get another cast out and then I'm doing a final review. So I've gone 3/4 off now on that reel now. So this reel now should be running very, very quickly. I would expect to see it lift and me having to slow it down slightly, if I'm honest. But I haven't cast the reel before, so it's an hard one to thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get out there and see if we can get one out. Love that braid. I can't help it. I love that braid. That flew, and I mean absolute flew. I've got probably I probably 3/4 spooled that reel then, but quarter left on. But that there now, that's right out in the tide. I felt that coming up over that bank. It must be a ledge or something out there. I felt that coming up over that then. But that rod, very nice rod, very nice rod. It's got loads of power in it, loads of backbone, and as I said, I haven't held back with both those casts. I've chucked it straight in the deep end by putting a 7-ounce lead on it, if I'm honest. Yeah, very nice bit of kit. It's nice to be able to do this sort of stuff and try other rods and that, because it's, I get asked a lot about doing product reviews on different types of rods and reels and stuff. At the end of the day, guys, I can't do it off my own back. I'd love to be able to do all of that sort of stuff for you, but unfortunately I sort of purchased what I use my own fishing, and for me to go out and get these rods and stuff like that, I'm not going to use them again, you know what I mean? So it's like fortunate for like Nobby, who's been good as gold in that, and at the end of the day he's given me a pair of the Akios travel rods, because he's seen the review I've done on the Tronics Pro ones, and he said, I want you to have a review on these. So next week we're off to Tenerife to target some stingrays, and we're actually taking these travel rods to do a review on them. And at the end of the day, it takes businesses like Nobby, SlamFish and that to put these productions together. So it's for you viewers, because at the end of the day, when you're going into this tackle shop, sometimes a lot of places don't let you try the rods, you know what I mean? But the one thing I liked about coming over here, and I was quite surprised with what they do really, Nobby's tried to get a collection of these rods, what he keeps second hand basically, and it's his own collection. And if anyone comes in, he says, oh, take it down the beach, you know what I mean, take it down the beach and have a cast, let me know. And you can try before you buy, and that means a lot in fishing, because 9 times out of 10 you'll buy something and you won't get on with it, and then you've got to go for the expense of selling it, losing money and all that. If you can try before you buy, what a way to do it. And at the end of the day, it's the same with these videos. All I can do is give an honest review, guys. I don't do sponsorship no more, and that's the reason of why I don't do sponsorship, because I can't be honest with you guys. And at the end of the day, for me, I've got to try and give a review for anglers what are going to use this rod, not necessarily myself. There's always going to be something what I don't particularly like about a rod. Like a Creed, I like a bit more stiffer in the butt section. But if you stiffen that butt section for 90% of the anglers, then it turns more of an advanced rod. You know, it's not user friendly. So people go and buy it down the beach and don't get on with it. They end up selling it. Where you get that rod there now, you can get down to the beach, you'll cast it with ease, and it gets you fishing and gets you extra distance. And that's what you're looking for. If you're struggling with casting and you're struggling with techniques and stuff like that, you need to be suited to the correct rod, because the correct rod will do the job for you. But overall, fantastic rod. I'm very impressed with that bit of kit, and the Fathom, it's not up to the original, but it's a very nice bit of kit, and more than anything, I love that braid. Okay guys, so I'm very much looking forward to casting this rod. So I'm a big fan of this rod, but I've never cast the glass tip version. So for those of you who know, the Zulcron XGT 435 Extreme Tournament is a rod that I own myself, and I love it. It's a very, very nice rod, very lovely to cast. It's probably one of the nicest casting rods I've ever cast, if I'm honest with you. I do really like it. It casts big leads, and it's just a joy to cast. Now, this is the glass tip version, okay? This is the Zulcron XT 435 GT, and first impressions, it feels lovely. You can feel it a little bit more whippy in the tip section, which you're going to with a glass tip. I feel that I'm going to have to slow it down slightly with my cast again, but I'm going to go and put a lead straight on it. This time I'm matching this up with the Penn Fathom 15s SDs, and exactly the same again, guys. It's the next step up from the 12s. The ratchet on them is lovely, and as I said, to be honest, they're lovely reels. But because I'm so much in love with the original Fathoms, so it's a hard one for me to judge really. But we were having a conversation last night about things. I don't think there's a reel on the market what you can say is absolutely 100% perfect. And it's strange for this day in technology, because with the amount of different brands and stuff, some reels are smooth, or you won't like that about it, on this and that. And exactly the same, some of the reels I've got, like £400 or £500, £600 reels, they're not perfect. You get them, you've got to change parts, like the Dower ST, for example, Super Tunes. I've had to totally upgrade that. It's cost me about, I reckon it's cost me nearly 250 quid to do both reels. On top of that, for paying that sort of money for reels, you shouldn't have to do that. Exactly the same with my Soltigas. I've had to pay extra money to upgrade the ratchet. The ratchets are terrible on them. You know what I mean? And when you're paying that sort of money, you shouldn't have to do it. You know what I mean? And I feel that, especially in this day and age now with the technology, sometimes they need to speak to the anglers, you know what I mean? They need the right anglers doing it. And I feel a lot of the companies don't have the right sets of anglers doing the prototype, like designing and stuff like that, and they don't get the right feedback. Now, one thing I can say about the Zulcron range, they got it to a T, and the reason they've got it to a T is because of the background knowledge they've got in casting. Jay knows what to do with rods, he knows about rods and everything else, and you can feel that when you cast a Zulcron rod. And I've said it loads of times, guys, I'm a big fan of the Zulcron range, and I feel that it's fantastic value for money. And they're just a joy to cast. You can feel the lead all the way through. They remind me of a later, more up-to-date Ziplex rod, a lot lighter. Some of the Ziplex rods were quite heavy back in the day, where the Zulcron range are very light and very responsive. And yeah, we'll see it now. But yeah, to be honest, I'm a big fan, and most of you know, a lot of people think I'm sponsored by Zulcron. I'm not. It's just I'm. If there's something what works and something what's right, then it's exactly the same. You've got to give it the credibility it deserves. And to be fair, for the money you pay for these rods, personally, I don't think there's ever rods on the market what stands up to these rods. And for the money, I mean, you've got the Ziplex and you've got the Century, the top end spec rods, and at the end of the day, they're up there with them. They got the quality in them is phenomenal. I mean, the way they load up, the way they handle, the way they respond, the quickness, recovery in the tips and that. But I'm gonna get this coming out now. I will do a casting day this year, and it's a shame we can't do it over here in the summer. It'd be nice over in Isle of Wight. Speak to Nobby, we get a few tents on the go and that, and have a weekend of it or whatever. But I did say to the guys down at in Devon that I was going to do one on Slapton, and I will do one, because there's a lot of guys what would like to try the rods and stuff. I can also bring some of my other rods, like the Centuries down and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, guys, it's not, if you can get a friend what's got a rod and say, mate, can I have a go at that? Or that is the way to do it before you spend out your hard-earned money. Try before you buy, because there's always someone there what will help you and be willing to help you out. And if not, on the internet, and I've just worth putting a Sea Angle Adventures post, put on the Facebook group and say, I live in Devon, I'm looking to buy such and such rod, has anybody got one I could cast? I guarantee you someone around will do it. Meet up, meet a new friend, meet a new angler, and yeah. So anyway, we're going to get into this cast now. So we have the Zulcron XT 435 GT and 7-ounce lead. This is 83-pound braid, which is slimmer diameter than most 20-pound main lines. So I'm going to go and hit one out now. Well, if I can get this guy behind me moved out the way, and then yeah, we'll go through the rod. I love that braid. That feels a lot different with that glass tip. Do you know what, guys? I don't feel I hit that properly then. What I feel like, especially with the way I'm casting, because I've got that, it's slanted at the back, I'm trying to hit it a little bit too early to make sure the lead don't come round and hit it like glass. But that's 83-pound braid, 3/4 spooled, and I'll tell you what, you can feel the braid literally respond straight away to the cast. Lovely. For those of you who have never cast braid on a multiplier, check out the Berkeley Sick, and I think you'll very much like it. I'm switching over. I'm gonna get a couple of reels, put it onto the braid, and see how it goes. But what can I say about that rod? Very responsive, lovely tip. Slow it down a little bit slightly. I hit that a little bit too early, as I said, but it still went out there. But yeah, all power. It's all power in that rod. That tip, even with the glass tip on it, it's bending for the first 3 eyes. Some rod for the money. The only trouble with hitting them out like that, you've got to read them back in every time. We've got 3 or 4 boys behind me who think you take a rear off. I say, I'll give you a rear in hand, even you. Or sitting there mire in the sun. But yeah. I'm going to have another cast, one more cast with this one here. Very impressed. As I said, I'm a fan of this rod already, but with the glass tip, it gives it an extra... The good thing about it, you can buy the tip section. So you can have a carbon section tip, and you can also have a glass tip version. So if you want all with one rod, all the same butt, you just... Classic really, isn't it? That flew, absolutely flew. Nice, I love that, I do. Lead's coming back now. Nice. Right, I'm going to sort the drop slightly. I'm going to have one more cast of this. Try and find a bit more flatter ground. Hard to set it up with that in the background. Hard, isn't it? See that? Yeah, it does, big time. Shorten my drop then, just to be able to get away from that back here. I like a little bit longer drop than that really. Probably dry line, but it's, yeah, very nice. As I say guys, very smooth running reels, and yeah, it does the job. But I don't think I need to say any more about the rod. I'm very impressed with that glass tip. These retail at Nobby?
380 for a build, 300 for a blank.
380 all in, fully built for this rod for less than 400 quid. Guys, I'm not being funny, you will not beat that price anywhere for that quality. Okay guys, so what can I say? I'll start with a reel. Very smooth running, and yeah, it does the job really. It's for me personally, I like to see a monomag fitted on the side of these, but what can you do for people? There's the trouble with what I get all the time with, just because it doesn't suit me doesn't mean it won't suit a lot of anglers. And at the end of the day, for someone just starting out, or someone who's been fishing a long time and doesn't necessarily worry about controlling the reel, that there is simply with clicks. You set your clicks, so you know what you want to cast, and that'll be your settings on that reel. So majority of anglers will get away with using that reel, and it's a very nice reel. As I said, it looks nice. It does the job really, and for the money, it's a good bit of kit. But what can I say? Big fan of the glass tip. I've got the carbon version tip of this rod, and for less than 400 quid built, You're not going to find that nowhere for this quality, guys. It really is. As I said before, they do remind me a lot of the Ziplex rods, just the lighter versions, and they're absolute joy to cast. So that is the Zulcron XT 435 GT and the Penn Fathom Mark II 15. Okay guys, this is the next step down now. This is the Zulcron XT Extreme Tournament 435 Lite, okay? And this one's a little bit special because it's got a little sticker on there, which is for you, Olivia, all right? So when you can see that on the telly, you can see your sticker now. Nice little touch there. It's Nobby's rod, and his daughter's put the sticker on there for the video, so we thought I'd give her a little shout out there. But I've got the same rear one here now again. I'm over the moon with this braid. I'm very impressed with it. I've got a 6-ounce lead on this one here now. It's the lighter version, and this is actually a glass tip version of the light as well. So what I can say, even though they're glass tips, they're quite stiff glass tips, so you've got the power in them. Yeah, very impressed. I don't know if you can pick that up there now, but yeah, it's yeah, they're a blend from carbon and glass, are they? Yeah. So they're a blend of glass and carbon throughout the whole tip section, and yeah, we're gonna send this one to the horizon. Have to shorten that drop. It's quite hard with this dropping bank behind me. Rapid. Huh? Didn't see it land? That was rapid. And I mean rapid. That there, well, put it this way, I got further with that cast then. I shortened the drop. I didn't even really hit it, connect with it properly. But what I found is as I come round, it was lightning quick recovery. When I cast the carbon version of this, I was very impressed with it, because what I found with little ease, you could get a lot of distance. So a lot of the marks where I've got no room to pendulum cast behind me, I can literally let the lead go back, let everything in, and turn around and let the job do the distance, and with just sheer power as I'm coming around with it. And I'm going to get a pair of the lights, because there's a lot of ray marks what I go to, you've got no room behind you, but to get the distance you've got to try and do either a layback cast, which is quite awkward with a long drop, or this would be perfect, literally drown and hit it. And as you can see, it don't get much better than that, fishing wise anyway. But bring this one in now, sun's out, guns out, SlamFish baby. Yeah, very impressed. I don't need to go for the reel, we just obviously done the reel already, but very, very nice rod. Gotta be honest guys, I'm very impressed with this Berkeley Sick. It's lovely. I will be getting some of this. Well deserved Chinese tonight after this, I think. Never ending. Now, very nice rod, and exactly the same for a built rod under the £400 price. You can't really ask for much more than that, really. I mean, lovely built, lovely build on them. And as I said guys, you can get carbon tips and also glass tips for them, so it caters for all with one rod. So in theory you don't need two different rods, you could get one butt section and it will do the business for both, depending where you are and what fishing you're sort of doing, depending what rod you go for. I mean, if you're doing a lot of rock fishing and stuff like that, Bristol Channel work, the 435 Extreme Tournament, the big boy, I would say to go for. You get it with a glass tip, do the business still. Or if you're fishing sort of lighter ground and stuff, I mean up here Nobby and all the lads seem to go for the light version, because the big boy's a bit too much for it. They don't need it because the ground they're fishing over. Where down our neck of the woods, fishing off a big like rocks and like stuff like that, even like Welsh marks and stuff. Really, the 435 big boy would be the one to go for. But not necessarily just these rods, guys. They do the match range rods and stuff like that as well. So they do cater for all bass rods, all of it really. But yeah, we're going to go back over there now, and we're going to go through something a little bit special. Okay guys, so something a little bit different here today. So this here, as you can see, is the rod with no name. Now, it was originally designed by Jay Lee. That's all I can tell you about the rod at the moment. And I've got to be honest, I haven't cast this rod yet, but with just feeling the rod and how it bends and how it's really proper J curved, it reminds me a lot of the old Ziplex HSTs, sort of like just a lovely raying rod. And I'm gonna get Joseph to hold that lead out the side there quickly. Right, I don't know if I can get you to show you this. I can see it now. Right, that there. So if you can pick that, come over this side, look, Joe. Lift it over the rods. Can you pick that up there? No, it's all right. You should be able to sing. I don't know if you can pick that up in the camera there now. That there is pure power. All the way through the tip section. The butt section is not moving one little bit. It's a proper J-curve rod. And I'm going to say that it's going to be an hard one for me to say. This could be possibly one of the nicest rods I'll ever get to cast. It just feels everything I want in a raying rod. A lot of the fishing I do is off the rocks and stuff like that, and you want something what you've got butt section control to hold the fish up, especially in big, deep, rough seas. When if you get the fish on the surface, it can be quite challenging at times if there's anything in that butt section. I want something what's just going to hold it and then the tip just bend over and do what I need it to do. But I'm going to cast this now. It's got no casting optimum casting weight or nothing on it. I'm going to cast it with a 175 first to see how it casts. Then I'm going to put a 200 gram lead on it. But I am very much looking forward to this because for me personally, this is what it's about, isn't it? And you know what I mean? And this has never been produced. There's only one of these in the world, and I'm about to cast it right now. Okay guys, here we go then. The one that I've been waiting for. Just feels lovely. I'll tell you what, I like that. I knew I would. Do you know what? It reminds me so much of a souped up HST, it's unreal. I was a big fan of the HSTs back in the day, and then they had the HST Evos, which was similar. This has got everything about it, the way it bends, the way the power, the control of it. I mean, when you're ray fishing that, you want a right nice J-curve rod, so you've got all the pressure like that to leave up on, and you've got so you've got, it's just power there, and that is what this rod's got. This is here, look. Straight down. It flew. I didn't really get right into that then, but I'm going to put a 7-ounce lead on it in a minute. I'm going to have another cast though. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. I'll get this reeled in and we'll get straight back to it. Okay guys, 7-ounce lead and the mystery rod once again. See if it handles this. So guys, 7-ounce lead, and the rod with no name is a serious bit of kit. This is the sort of stuff that I enjoy doing. You've got a rod there, you don't know nothing about it, and it's one in a million, you know what I mean? How often do you get to cast a rod that there's only one of? For me, that's a perfect raying rod. If perfect raying rod. It's very similar to the HST. and the HSD Dymic, except I would say it's slightly stiffer further up the rod, so you get more of a J curve on it. When you got pressure, if I get Nobby to hold that lead out there now, so I can just basically go through it. If you go back, stand back and just pull, you can get a little bit of a, I don't know if you can pick that up, like come through, walk this way a minute. So here now, like that there is, I'm pulling it hard and Nobby's pulling hard, right? That tip, that butt section's not moving, okay? The butt section's not moving at all. You've got it moving from the first eye of the bottom of the butt section, of the tip section, all the way round, and it's complete J curve, absolute J curve. That is what I want in a fishing rod for ray fishing. And I've got to be honest, it's something that I look for. I want the power in the butt section. The Ziplex SU was a rod I went to because it was a proper J curve rod. The trouble with the SU, and I would still use the SU to this day, it was too heavy and too big. You know what I mean? And when you're using a rod that sort of for that amount of time, and like some nights I'm out there 5 or 6 days a week, you know what I mean? You want something nice and light, that there, lovely diameter, lovely power, and casted 7 ounce with ease, single sand deal baits to the horizon, and hopefully some big blondes. But I wish he'd let me take it back, but he's not. It's the only one he's got. And he said to me, Andy, I want you to have a look at this. As soon as I looked, I fell in love with it straight away. I mean, it's a lovely bit of kit, it really is, and I can see why he's fell in love with Nobby's fell in love with it as well. I mean, it's just a work of art. I mean, there's not else I can say about it. The rod with no name. Hopefully, guys, we can see this into production, because I think it would be a big winner. I mean, it's a nice bit of kit, lovely bit of kit. But I hope you've all enjoyed this review show from the Isle of Wight, something a bit different today. And don't forget to check out SlamFish website. If you're ever over the Isle of Wight or thinking about coming over to the Isle of Wight, give Nobby at SlamFish a ring. He can obviously put you on with a bait and put you on with the bits and pieces, give you a bit of advice around the island. I mean, we've had this trip booked for a few months now, and the tides and that were pretty perfect for it. Unfortunately, the way the weather's turned up, you can't win it all the time, but it's been a joy, to be honest. It's nice to catch up with Nobby. We've had a nice night out, we had a bit of fishing, and as you can see, and hopefully we've got tomorrow to come today. We've had a bit of a filming day in the shop today, as you'll see. We've got a production for those starting off fishing, and then some basically help people get fishing with a bit of advice going into the tackle shop for the first time, because a lot of people, when they're first starting out, you don't know what to get and what to do. So there's a little bit of advice there. But from all of us here at SlamFish today, I hope you all have a lovely weekend. As I said, don't forget to check the page out. They've got a Facebook group as well. Fantastic place to fish, and yeah, it's just been a bit of joy. I want to thank Nobby as well for letting us come out today and put some rods and that for the paces. I mean, anybody that's looking to purchase one, you can purchase through SlamFish. Give them a shout if you're in the area and stuff. Obviously, it's definitely worth checking out. Lovely little shop, full of like stock. He's got a second shop coming very soon, which will be nice to see. But hopefully, we can get over here again in the summer when the weather's better and hit some of those stingers. From us all here, tight lines, till the next time.